watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. It's kind of a sad morning. It's kind of a sad day. I got to be honest, man. The draft is over. You are officially entering the dog days of summer. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. This is it, man. I've been sitting here last night. I was putting a couple notes together for the show, and I'm kind of sad because it's like this. The draft was like your last heavy football weekend you're going to have till August. LeBron had a good fourth quarter. I do not care 1 second about the NBA. Not one. Don't even get, it doesn't even register. Not even a second. Don't watch. Don't care. The Jordan Bulls was the last time I cared about basketball. And then as a little kid in the Chicago greater metropolitan area, when you grow up and you're 8, 9, 10, 11, and Michael Jordan's on your team, you just get used to being the best every year. I thought this is just what happens. My team has the best players and we win championships every year. I just thought that's what happened. And then I grew up and I realized that's not how it goes. MJ set the basketball bar way too high in my youth, and I can't handle anything but that now. I'm out. Thanks for being here, everybody. We got a couple phone calls we got to get to and see what you guys think. Couple thoughts today. Draft reactions. Anybody with the draft reactions about overall what happened to Sanders, Notre Dame? My content partner likes to stir it up, and Goolsby's got some thoughts about the lack of Notre Dame guys early in the draft. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Should we expect more? Is this just the last of the RKGs filtering out? Now it's going to be Freeman guys, and you'll have more. Whatever you make of that, good, bad, or indifferent, I think that's in the eye of the beholder. Go over that. Listen, Commander, I actually thought of that as well. When I look at the Notre Dame draft guys, where they did end up going, it occurred to me, I don't know, man, maybe Riley Leonard ends up this 6th round pick, whatever, to the Colts, and then maybe that turns into, I looked at that and it jumped out at me as maybe a potentially really good spot. Low pressure, 6th round. It's not like you're in the 1st round. Everybody expects you to be a starter tomorrow, that kind of thing. Maybe he ended up in a really, really good spot. So there's some interesting things there. I got some stuff going on with the child. Let's see how far we could get here before Johnny Boy's got to get going. Couple of phone calls early. Let me get through the introduction. A couple of my notes. We'll go from there. I got a bunch of good chats to highlight. Rodney, the dog days. It's the dogs. Got to give me the dogs. That's my favorite team. I like the dogs. Dude, it so cracks me up. You see those videos from Georgia tailgates or whatever. It's like a 20-year-old frat kid pre-law in his khakis, and his loafers. And they're walking through the parking lot tailgating. They see the opposition tailgating, and the guy gets on all fours, and his buddy acts like he's got the leash. And this potential billion-dollar lawyer in a few years is on all fours in the parking lot barking, at the South Carolina crowd. It just cracks me up. The dogs. It is fun to say, man. A part of me wishes I had a team I like called the dogs. Because you can make a lot of dumb, funny noises. And I'm all about that if you can't tell. $20 holler. Rodney, we'll get to you. The regulars. $20 holler from my lawyer in Michigan. I'm shocked you were slid so far. Anybody have the scoop? Sanders, I could care less. I don't know, man. whenever you got an unexpected drop like that, it always makes me wonder about Rodney. Call me back when you get a minute. It makes me think about those interviews, and maybe something goes wrong in those behind the scenes, and then it gets out. Yeah, Jay Carr, that happens all the time. It's hilarious to me. Who emailed John saying the voices are unprofessional? He wants John to stop. What a weirdo. Every once in a while, like once a month, I'll get some email and it'll be like, I really like your insight on a lot of things, but I just can't handle all the immature noises and sounds you do. And why do you got to change your voice to do all this? Are you new here? That's what I do. You're either with it or you ain't with it. Like, I'm pretty straightforward, man. You either are really attracted to what I do or you hate it. I'm not stopping my stupid voices just because you don't like them. They make me happy. The beginning of every show is fun for me to do a stupid voice. So let's do it here. Thanks for being here. As always. Yeah, that's a low IQ opinion. There's no way it could be low IQ. The 40-year-old in his basement making weird noises. That's not low IQ. Not liking it is low IQ. As always, thanks for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. No, Twitter, search bar Always Irish or at Always Irish. Yeah, Phil says John acting normal would be weird. Exactly. If I start acting normal, it's time for you to be like, what is bothering you, John? Something is amiss. Seriously, I'm not a normal guy. You don't do what I'm doing the way I do it if you're normal. I'm not normal. I don't want to be normal. I have no interest in being normal. I'm 40. The horse has left the barn and he's never coming back. He ain't coming back. I'm not normal. You either like it or you think I'm crazy and annoying. Maybe both. I don't know. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. Don't want to see my face. Who can blame you for that? Call in lines 312. The Wolf says being normal is overrated. The Wolf. Oh, the dog. The Wolf is the king of the dogs. Call in line 312-900-8815. Dialed up, tell Johnny all you see. Notre Dame Fighting Irish brought to you by SI. Read all about it. Patreon.com/Always Irish. We're going to debate it tonight. I can't wait for it. We're going to debate it tonight. What to make of Notre Dame's lack of high draft picks. And I want to see where Mike is at on this as a former player, a guy who's gone through the NFL draft process, done all that stuff. I want to see, we've intentionally not talked about this before because I want to see what he thinks compared to what I think as a guy who's been through this process and knows what it takes and everything. I'm really interested to see what he thinks about it. And so let's get into this real quick. I am hearing and had a couple people reach out to me over the weekend that Notre Dame's setting up for another little recruiting run here, a little recruiting burst. I've just been told they're in really good position and expect some good news to come again soon. The way we had that little, a few weeks ago, that little run on recruiting, it looks like there may be another one coming. The College Huddle, Eric, good to see you, man. Like the new logo and all that stuff, man. Yeah, so Mark did send me the video and I got to clean it up and post it because it's too good not to. I really appreciate it. So that's number one. I think you're looking at some good news coming on the recruiting trail. And again, we're going to table that by saying, talk to me when they sign type of deal. But nobody could deny you can't not be in a good mood if guys have Notre Dame in the clubhouse. So, but I'm hearing you're in good shape. You're supposed to get some good news soon. And I get the interpretation more than one. So that'll be good. That'll be really good. All right, real quick, and then I'm going to get to the calls. I'm going to drop this in the water as a line, and then we'll go to the calls, get you guys going. Sanders is the biggest story of the draft, okay? Here's how I see that. When you carry yourself with swag on overload and braggadocious and arrogant and cocky, when you do that, And that is one of the main things, aside from being very athletic, one of the things your entire family is known for. That's your brand. Let's be very goofy, whatever emotion. That's my brand. Their brand is braggadocious, over the top with the swag and whatever, all that. That is that family's like vibe, right? When you're doing that on extra mode all the time, whether it's justified on the field or not, when that is the level you're at every day, if something goes wrong, people are going to pounce. It's just the way it is. You don't get to do all that swag stuff and everything only when it's good and everything. Like if you're putting yourself out there to the level this family does on purpose, because that's their brand, that rubs people the wrong way. And if something goes wrong, people are going to pounce. That's the world we live in. It's the modern way things go. It's social media. It's all that stuff. There's a lot of jealousy, whatever it is. When swag is your brand and it rubs people the wrong way and something doesn't go well, you're going to take crap for that. And that's what happened here. Humility is the lesson of the day for the Sanders family. God bless Mark with glasses. He ends up going to the Browns. And he wasn't even, the funny part is it's one thing to end up going to the Browns, the quarterback killer of my lifetime, besides Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, where the longer you start for him, the worse your numbers get. Do that equation. Sell me that for the quarterback guru. Find me the guy who started for Kelly and the numbers got better the longer he started. I don't think you could do it. Especially multi-year starters. A guy that started one year and comes back the next, the numbers plummet. What kind of operation is that? That the longer you're at Notre Dame, the crappier your numbers get. It's not supposed to be that way. Sanders wasn't even the first quarterback the Browns took. So now he's going to the quarterback killer. He's going to the quarterback killer in Cleveland, and they already drafted another guy higher than him. Whatever, man. Here's the other thing, too, and then we'll go to the calls. Here's the other thing, too. I wasn't in the room, so I can't verify this. The word on the street is he did not take his interview seriously. And professional NFL insiders are reporting that. So allegedly, I wasn't in the room. Allegedly, I'm trying to be fair to the kid. Allegedly, there's reports of Shedeur not taking those interviews seriously. I got news for you, man. Once that gets out, you're toxic to the NFL GMs. Once that gets out, that you didn't take it seriously, you thought you were too cool to have to prepare for the interview and it's whatever. You got to understand that is a grenade that is just, and it spreads. And before you know it, nobody's interested. They think you're a problem and they think you're too cool for school. And here's the other part about it too. Being a quarterback. I believe it's a bigger deal how you comport yourself in those interviews and doing all that stuff if you're the quarterback. You're the default leader of the team. When you're a quarterback of an NFL team, you represent that entire city in the community, like all the charitable arms, everything goes through the quarterback when it's like, it matters a lot how you comport yourself in those interviews. And if you don't take them seriously and you're like, you either want me or you don't, I'm too cool for school, I don't need to prepare for this, bro, you become toxic. So if that happened, it's a tough lesson to be learned, but you turn a lot of people off when you act that way, especially when you have the reputation your family already has for the over-the-top swag. So I don't know. Tough lesson, man. And then what do we make of Notre Dame not having a lot? Callers, I'm coming to you. We got a good batch. I'll go right to you. I'm going to go quicker than usual because I got to get out of here earlier. What do we make of Notre Dame not having a lot of high-end draft picks? Does it matter to you? Do you care? Does it reflect poorly on Notre Dame's talent and development? Do you say it's a red flag to me that we made it that far as a team, but we don't have guys that are that highly drafted and that doesn't make sense to me? Or do you flip the whole thing and say, that's pretty awesome because it means Notre Dame made it to the title game without a bunch of top draft picks and made it all work. And it's great coaching. And Freeman got the most out of these guys to play their best together. And then it turns out we don't have an all-star team doing it, filled with upperclassmen carrying everything. And that's a good thing. And it also makes you think Notre Dame should be good for a while. Apparently it's not like you lost all of your high-end talent making all the plays that got you the championship. So eye of the beholder. I think I could, obviously you want a bunch of high draft picks. It's a really good free recruiting weekend for your school. If you put a bunch of guys in the first 2 rounds, people just keep seeing Ohio State. I think 7 guys in the first 2 or 3 rounds for them. If you don't think that matters in recruiting or move like that, people are paying attention to that, I think you're wrong. I think those young guys are checking that. And so I'm open to both. In an ideal world, you'd want a little more sizzle on the front end just for your development and the free recruiting you get off that. But I also think this is all going to change very soon because the Freeman era guys are going to start coming through and you're going to have a lot more guys drafted early. So that's how I see it. And then let me ask this too on the portal stuff. Blake, I'm open to that this is the final batch of RKGs from the Kelly era getting out of here. So that makes sense too if you want to be on the negative end. Speaking of Kelly, what do you 23, 24, 23 to, I think it was 23 guys that left in the portal this spring from LSU. Is that a normal amount? Jerry, I wouldn't know. You're dead to me. Is that a normal amount? 23 guys leaving, and maybe in the SEC it's different, and I'm used to Notre Dame where it's a smaller number. Maybe that doesn't raise any eyebrows at all. But it is interesting to me that they had 23 guys leave this spring. That's a lot of movement to me when you're going into year 4. Maybe in the SEC it's different and it's easier to move and school is easier. I don't know. So maybe I'm overdoing that, but I did look at that article and I was like, 23 guys getting away from Kelly. Found that hard to believe. If Watson's still on the team, I don't think Shadeur's going to have a good happy end. Dong. That was worth the $5. That was worth the $5. It really was. That was pretty good. It was pretty good. If Morrison wouldn't have gotten hurt, he's a first rounder. Yep, I understand that. People were saying they think Mills would have gone higher without the injury too. I mean, I'm open to that. But now you're getting in things that could be, but they aren't. Right? Like they either end up, they are, or they aren't. Like you could have valid reasons for why something is or isn't, but at the end of the day, it either is or isn't. So I get it. So yeah, it's interesting. And I know Mike kind of went off on Twitter about some of this stuff and got some people that agree, some pushback. Goolsby saying, is Freeman happy with this or did he expect more? Or like, who is this on? I think it's all going to change getting into next year and then on in the Freeman era. I think Notre Dame's going to be a lot more highly represented in the top ends of the draft. If you're on old, you're going to be on the air. Let's go. Yeah, Katy Perry's an astronaut. That you want to talk about always annoyed. It rubs me the wrong way when you call the people that went space lately the crew. Crew to me comes off that you're doing work. You're driving the spaceship. You're driving the rocket. You have the training to operate in space. You're not a crew if you're just sitting there. I don't go on a cruise ship, and then because I'm on the cruise ship, I'm a part of the crew. Rubs me the wrong way. Rubs me the wrong way calling them the crew. That means you're doing work, not floating around upside down talking about music or whatever. Crew tells me you're controlling what's going on. Anyways. Rodney, what's going on? 415-412-859 coming up. Rodney, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man. What's been going on, John?
You sound like you're in a well that's filling up with water.
Hold up, I'm get off this.
Are you drowning?
There you are.
I'm gonna.
Better, right?
Oh, there you go. I thought you were drowning. Your car. It sounded like one of them things where you drive your car into a lake and it's filling up with water and you got to call for help real quick. But I'm glad. I'm glad you're above water. What's going on, buddy? Good to hear from you. Hey
man.
First things first, Rodney. How did your plays and performances go during Blue and Gold Week? Did everything go good? Where'd he go? Son of a buck. Bad start. Do I got you?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. It went back to Bluetooth again when I was talking to you. The play went great. A couple weeks ago, that last day was when you guys had the final tailgate stuff at the linebacker. So no, it went great, man. Went great. How you been? How's everything? Last couple of weeks been coming down from the high of being in Florida.
Oh, it's tough.
Coming down from the high of the tailgate.
Oh, it's tough.
Dog days of summer. Dogs.
It's just so fun to say. I'm a 40-year-old man, but I'm sitting there, the dogs. And you got to make a dumb face with it, too, the dogs. Yeah, man, it's Rodney. It's the realization, Blue and Gold. Whenever I drive home for Blue and Gold, it's kind of the ultimate realization that you're entering the dog days for real. Like, we laugh about it, but that is every time I drive home for Blue and Gold, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a long, slow summer we're in for. So I'm ready for it. Let's get some good recruiting news and let's look forward to August camp. Anything you make of the draft with Notre Dame guys or Sanders or anything, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Morrison was obviously in my opinion, the best chance we had at number one pick or a first round pick. And I thought he would go in the second round for the same reason because of the injury. Watts surprised me a little bit. I thought he'd be a second rounder, not a third rounder. These are kind of nitpicks, but I do think there's a perception out there too, man, that Notre Dame gets a lot of guys go to the NFL, but not a lot of first rounders, and I think sometimes even in the draft room, I think that can be a thing, because I've noticed a lot of these Notre Dame secondary players that have done great, in college over the past few years and been mentored by Mickens and, just really good. Not a lot of them been either first rounders or as high in the first round as people thought. And some of that's injury. I feel like some of it's a little bit of a cop out though too. I'm not worried though, John, for the exact reason you said, man. What we have left on the starter roster going into the Ohio State game, like 50% of the start at the beginning of the season or something like that. It had to be something close to that we're out. To me, that is absolutely a positive from here on out because I didn't see this year going into it. I thought a few guys that were on the fringe of first round.
You're cutting out on me bad.
A lot of them.
You're cutting out on me bad. Move somewhere in your house.
I'm taking it off white. I hope that works. I don't know. Is it any better now?
No.
I don't know what's going on.
That's how it goes. Welcome to Monday.
I'm not surprised. You can hear me. I'm not that surprised. But I'm thinking, like you said, the future looks great. I think the next couple of years is going to be a lot of guys.
Rodney, you're dropping off, man. So that's a couple times. Sorry, buddy. You got at the bottom of that lake, you got a bad signal. Thanks for the donation. Try again, but you keep cutting out and then it ultimately cut out for good. I'm picturing Rodney in that Office episode where where Michael and Dwight are driving and he goes by the GPS and it drives him right in the lake and Dwight's like, there's a lake here. And he's like, no, the machine's telling me to go here. He goes right down the boat ramp into the water. It was bad, Commander. Don't make me feel bad. His call dropped off twice, and once he was underwater drowning in a well, and Lassie had to save him. And then that one, it sounded like he was flying to outer space with Katy Perry. Bad reception there in outer space. Oh, boy. Tim, what's going on? And then Adam, I'll be able to give you more time. What's up, Tim?
How you doing, John?
Good, man. What's
my whole
up?
point, I think that let's take the state of the program. Remember when we played with Clemson? I think it was the second time under Kelly, where we lost Love, and they torched us. They went right to his guy, and we had nothing. The game was over. Now let's fast forward to where we are now. How many injuries did we go through? A ton, and we were able to compete. If that kicker doesn't shank the kick, what's in one play if he cuts it to 5 points? And we're also a young team. Look at the lines. Look at our running back room. Look at the wide receiver room. The only problem we have is we're inexperienced at quarterback. It's going to be kind of tough to win a national title with a quarterback that has no experience. But I think we have enough talent. I wouldn't be anxious at all. I think it's amazing what we were able to accomplish, considering how young we were. And we had a couple guys that were injured. Yeah, it would have been higher, but still, I know you're going to say it is what it is, but I look at the state of the program. If you want to complain, say Marcus Freeman doesn't have us in a different place now, you're clueless. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're saying that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I think it's really what's interesting to me about the Notre Dame draft discussion is I think you could take it either way you want to go with it. And I think there's a lot of positives in the fact that you just accomplished what you did in this year, and it's not like you did it with an upperclassman all-star team of top-round draft picks that made all your plays, and now they're in the league, and you got to start over or whatever. That's not what has happened at Notre Dame, and I think there's some really good news in that. And, as far as the perception of, wanting to have your school in the top couple rounds and getting talked about in that way, you're going to get there. Like the next batch on is going to have more of those good high-level draft guys. So as a one-year frustration, sure. You would like to see guys in the first 2 rounds, but it bodes well for the future. It reflects well on the staff for being able to get the most out of these guys to make a title run. I don't know. Am I making excuses?
I agree with you. I didn't see. Did we lose any? Because Friday the portal closed, correct?
I'm telling you this. Unless I missed it, I didn't see anybody else join. I am really surprised there are not more Notre Dame guys in that portal. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it just never came. I didn't see anybody else enter the portal at the end of the tunnel unless I missed it. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see it.
Me either. So that's great news. That tells you we're even. Because I thought we'd lose 5, 6 guys minimum. I mean, let's face it, the guys that left, there was no shock there. I think they kind of forced Angeli out the door because they know that the other 2 guys sitting there he's going for it. He knows Angeli was never going to take us to the promised land. The 2 guys we have there, one of them could.
Yeah, and then tying that into what you said earlier, Tim. Here's what I like about it. You know how you said, like, it's going to be hard to expect a freshman to go lead the team or a first-time starter to lead the team and at quarterback and be a title contending team or whatever. Here's the underrated aspect of what we're doing next at quarterback is it is not a one and done. And I think that is a big deal that whatever happens this year, theoretically, you're going to have multiple years to be able to develop around whoever this young quarterback is. That's a lot different than a one and done where you got to win now. And then if you don't, you're starting all over. That's a big deal to me. So let's see how this year goes. But then I like knowing I have in my pocket some future development that should be better the more these guys are all together. Does that make sense?
Yep. I 100% agree with you. Yep. And just for once, I think the guys have got to even it out a little bit. Can we please stay healthy?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, somewhat.
I know
come on.
Yeah. That's the other part of it is the health issue. Rodney, it's okay, man. Bad phone reception this week. Appreciate the effort of you to dial in and the donation. Try again when you pull yourself out of that well. And so I don't know, man. This is going to be really interesting. We're entering a very interesting part of the Freeman era. I think you're in your winning window and you need to go for it and try and get this thing over the hump. 3 years has gone by real quick. Freeman's not the new guy, got some actual playoff skins on the wall. like we're entering winning time in the next iteration of the Freeman era.
Yes, I 100% agree. And please let us enter the winning. Man, we get all the other children straightened out too.
Yeah, it's so I don't know, man. This is going to be a long summer, though, Tim. I'm hoping for some good recruiting news, and that's about all you're going to get is hoping for good recruiting news, and then you stress out until August camp, and then we spit it out. We really get things cranked up from there.
And you know how much I want Miami because that was my glory time.
Yeah.
So we cannot lose week 1 to them.
Yeah,
you won't want to be around me for 6 months.
Yes. That is a big one. That one is personal to everybody involved in the Notre Dame and Miami ecosystems. Tim, can I tell you what is going to be the biggest challenge for me next year? I already know what it is, and I'm trying to be mature about it. The biggest challenge I'm going to have watching this team next year is the understanding that with the younger quarterback, there's going to be some rookie mistakes. And I'm a guy who said, I want to go young. I'm ready for it. The program's mature enough to handle it. I want to go young and do this. A part of that is implicitly, I am signing up to live with some learning mistakes from this young rookie quarterback that's going to have his first big role in college. I've got to be mature enough to be able to navigate that and not blow my stack every time a 19-year-old makes a mistake with the football or whatever. That's going to be, I think, my biggest practical challenge this year is trying to be mature enough to understand there's going to be a learning curve there. Hopefully it's minimized. The rest of the team picks up the slack and you got a good defense. You can afford a couple mistakes on offense, whatever it ends up being. That's going to be hard for me. I got to be mature enough to navigate that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The other big one is we don't lose our stack because that defensive coordinator, we'll see. Let's just hope he doesn't mess it up.
Could be better. Could be. Goolsby's telling me, John, if they're going to simplify things and make it more of a zone thing and let guys crash downhill and not think as much and just read and react, he's saying there's a possibility that a couple of these minor tweaks could result in a better defense. Let's see. So that's come up. Let's see how it goes. And we'll go from there.
Well, that's a fair point. He would know better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to take what he says.
He thinks there's just going to be a couple little tweaks that could free these guys up to be able to just kind of react and play rather than think through some of the complicated, more complex schemes that Al Golden wanted to implement. And then with the more zone, that's really interesting to think about. What's going to come with more zone? You know what I mean? Like I don't know the give and take there. Tom Frawley, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I did not get your voicemail right when you called me yesterday. It came like 8 hours late. I have no idea what's going on with my phone. I owe you a phone call, Tom. Just glad to see you're upright, buddy. So I don't know, Tim. Going to be a long summer in Johnny's basement.
You already took your vacation, so you got anything fun planned with the family during the summer months?
Yeah, we're going to go in I think a few weeks. We're going back to Florida. We're going to bring the kids to Disney just for a weekend, not a full week, but just a couple days there to do it, see my brother. So we're going back to Florida in a month here. Like, now's the time to do it because when we get into fall, I don't do nothing on the weekend for like 7 months.
You take that second mortgage out for that trip to Disney?
Don't make me think about that. All right. But whatever, you know how it is. You got little kids and whatever, and we're going to go do it. So you bite the bullet, you do it for your kids, and you go from there.
Right. You just have the daughter, right, John?
Yep. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good day. Thanks for taking the call, and go Irish.
Have a good one, man. See ya. I got to admit something. Adam, you're coming up. I got to admit something. I'm a little frustrated. Tim didn't really yell about anything. I catch him on an off week or what? Is he having an off day? He wasn't mad about anything. I'm not used to this. Usually whenever he calls in, there's a rant about women's basketball or something. I didn't get any rant. Have you been on the Guardian of the Galaxy ride? I have not, and I have no idea what that means. Is that Star Wars, Star Trek, one of them nerd movies, intergalactic nerd movies? They're all the same to me, you guys. I know that's sacrilege. To me, there's no difference between Star Wars, Star Trek, any of the intergalactic space stuff. It's all the same part of my brain. Nerd, space stuff. I don't get it. Which one's the one with the weird ears? I don't even know, bro, but it's all the same to me. Nerd, intergalactic space travel stuff is all the same. $3,000 for a weekend at Disney. What is going on here? $3,000 to wait in line in 100 degrees and humidity for 4 hours at a time. Like, bro, come on. You kidding me? 415, what's going on? 832, you're coming up next. What's going on?
Good morning, John. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. There's a little grieving period. This draft was our last big, football weekend we're gonna have for a while. So I'm waiting to get I'm waiting for some good recruiting news, which I've been told. A couple people reached out to me and said, I want to give you an update. Sounds like we're gonna have a little burst here. So I'm anticipating that. I know how much you think about this program. Any reactions to the draft? Does it bother you we don't have high draft picks? Is it a good sign for the development and the cohesion of the team on the field? What do you make of it? Big deal or not?
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't bother me right now because of the fact that I can see the trajectory going up. And this is something that you and I discussed maybe a couple months back about just having patience and not having to have that instant gratification sense that is such an absolute need, it seems like, by society in today, And so when you look at it, this is something that you have Marcus Freeman coming in, overhauling an entire program, bringing in his guys, from top to bottom, also changing things with a general manager and trying to figure out all the different nuances of the college football landscape. So it takes time. And what we're seeing is that absolutely, I understand he's hurt, both of them, but Riley Mills would have been, in my mind, a third rounder. And I do think that Benjamin Morrison, without a doubt, would have been a first rounder. I was surprised. I agree with Rodney. I was surprised by Watts. I thought he would have gone second round. And I thought he was a steal for the Falcons to take him at that point. So overall, for the entirety of the Notre Dame program, I'm not down about it because a lot of our guys that we rooted for have made it to the league. And that's really what matters. Now, as far as the recruiting side, I absolutely agree with you that this is a free kind of, recruiting publicity deal like over the weekend because of the fact that you're showing, hey, we put in how many wide receivers or how many cornerbacks or whatever it might be. And I know for an absolute fact that the younger kids are watching it and they are sitting there and they are paying attention. And that's what creates that culture and that pipeline to the NFL for certain positions. So you will see a lot more repetitive motion out of those positions.
Yeah, it's I think this is all going to change very, very soon. Once the roster totally flips over and it's all Freeman era guys, all of this is going to change. You're going to end up with a lot more guys spread out all over that draft. I just think this is a temporary thing, but I am open to anybody going, isn't that a little alarming? You didn't have anybody that could go higher in the first two rounds, but it bodes well for this year's Notre Dame team. It tells you a lot of that talent's coming back. And again, there's no way there's no way around this either. Freeman has been able to do something we always begged Kelly to do and he could never do. And I always talked about it. How do you get the collection of guys you have how do you get the most out of the collection of guys you have that the on-the-field product looks better than what it looks like you should get on paper? And Freeman's been able to do that. He's been able to do that. Get these guys that are limited in some ways to play their very, very best. So I don't know. I think they're doing a pretty good job.
They absolutely are. It's a total testament to his ability to coach young men in this game. And this is something that you and I were so excited about when he first got the job, to see that excitement out of the locker room when he was the one who was announced as the head coach.
Yeah.
And that is resonating. When you watched Brian Kelly, and I can't remember if it was Jaden Daniels or who it was, but he was at the draft with his players like a year or two ago. And I distinctly remember one of his players got drafted and gets up, buttons his jacket, and there's Kelly sitting there looking like, okay, he's going to give me a high five or a hug. And the guy just snuffed him. He's like, nope, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Do you think that would happen at all with any of the players from top to bottom on Notre Dame's roster with Marcus Freeman? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
because he has a connection, you know?
Yeah, it is. And again, I'm still waiting for somebody. Where's SPF? I want to know 23 transfers this spring for Freeman leaving LSU. I want to know if that was expected or if that was a little unexpected. I just think that's a big number. But then again, I'm used to Notre Dame's portal numbers being lower just because how Notre Dame operates and is built. So maybe that isn't a red flag at all, but I was a little surprised to see 23 guys wanted to get away from Kelly. So we'll see. So I don't know, man. I think we're in for a pretty good summer of recruiting. And I always say, if we could get this all to 4th of July, then you got 3 weeks left for you to get your mind and body prepared for football season. And then we're back. So it's just going to be a grind until there, but we're going to do the best we can. We'll find things to talk about.
Definitely will. Definitely will. Hey, I got to roll, but I got one last thing for you, man. Your take on the Catch Me Outside, how about that, was incredibly fantastic.
It rubs me the wrong way.
Thank you for doing that.
It rubs me the wrong way.
Buddy.
It is a sign of the downfall of modern American society, the people we choose to let and make famous. And that girl is the last one that should ever be making $52 million a year doing anything. It rubs me the wrong way.
I completely agree. Completely agree, buddy. Fantastic take on that. I love to always annoy it every once in a while. It's a good little break, in there. Other than that, my man, I got to roll, but I will talk to you on the next one.
Have a good one. Thanks for touching base, buddy. 832 and then 559 up on the line. David West, $2 holler. Notre Dame's program is excellent in Go Blue. Here they close Splash Mountain? The most regular thing they have there, they closed, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Splash Mountain even exists anymore. If they cut off that Pirates of the Caribbean ride, I'm boycotting Disney. Here's the deal, David. What is the deal with me getting Michigan people? I got Burks as a Michigan person. Now I got David West, and he's joining as a Michigan fan, but he's being nice about it. What is going on? I ain't used to this. John's catchphrase, catch me outside with the chicken tendies. How about that? I got news for you people. I'm trying to beef up a little bit. Steak and eggs for breakfast, steak and rice in night, protein shake in between, and some yogurt. I'm trying to clean up the way I eat a little bit this summer and see if I can work out, try and beef up a little bit. Beef up a little bit. That's the idea. So see if you can see any difference over the next couple months. But I'm trying to eat a little cleaner. I'd say I've been probably 80% clean eating for a couple weeks now. I don't buy clean. I mean, like not fast food, not totally raw vegetables I dig out of the ground. I'm talking like steak and eggs, steak and rice, like sticking to the basics of like protein or whatever. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see. 832, we're talking to you. 559, going to be up on the line. What's going on, 832? Welcome.
John, good morning. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just a busy morning in Notre Dame land, thinking about the draft, thinking about maybe some pop-in recruiting here coming, and we'll see what we get. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man, I spent a lot of time watching the draft. I think I mean, I guess it's not too much of a surprise, but Riley getting drafted, man, I just couldn't be more happy for him, and going through his draft process and watching his interviews and stuff. I guess it wasn't too much of a surprise that a team took him, but I think it's just interesting where all of these quarterbacks ended up this season. Is kind of a quarterback light draft class.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, man. I wrote down on my notes like our draft guys and where they went, and I was thinking about it late last night. Riley Leonard, actually, this is a really good spot, I think, because you're a 6th-round guy, so you don't have all the pressure of being like the world is on your shoulders. You got drafted as quarterback and you're expected to be perfect right away. Maybe he could develop into something. He may end up being the best draft pick of any of these guys. Like, I don't know, but I just see maybe there's a lane there for him. I like that spot.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge NFL guy, but I'm pretty sure, was Phillip Rivers with the Colts late in his career? Or am I mixing them up?
I don't even remember. Yeah, I'm not a big NFL guy either. I just think that could be a good spot. And so I don't know, man. And I just think this draft thing, that narrative's going to change with Notre Dame moving forward. Once these Freeman era guys start flipping over to the NFL, it's going to be a lot different. There's a lot of traits there in the guys that they're recruiting that are going to translate well to the NFL. I think that's all going to change.
I would agree. And I think that everybody would say that like the surprise fall of the draft was Shedeur, but I think it's also pretty interesting that Quinn Ewers fell so far. And I think that that's kind of got a little bit of a Notre Dame connection with some of the transfer rumors that were going around before he declared for the draft.
Yeah, it's interesting. And with those quarterbacks, sometimes, I don't know, man. It's just the scrutiny on a quarterback is so much heavier than anybody else. And all it takes is you to rub one GM wrong in an interview, and then it gets out that you're toxic. Like, so I don't know the realities of all this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it's the attitude a lot, and I think that could be, what got Riley drafted. I don't know if there's anybody that was draft eligible that had a better attitude and mentality, like going into the rest of his career.
Yeah, it's somebody says, Rivers played his last year with the Colts. So there you go. You weren't wrong after all.
So
yeah, you weren't crazy.
And then he's living right down the road from him. I kind of feel like I had a little bit of a sense that a team like that could take him where, I don't know how much Phillip Rivers has to do with the Colts organization or whose year he's in, but I think that, that's a good fit, I think, for Riley. To go somewhere close by to Notre Dame where he's got a little bit of popularity, which I think will kind of give him some more time to develop. I don't think that fan base is too harsh,
Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And I just, tell me if you feel this. I feel like you're not starting over in the Freeman era, but you're starting the beginning of the next level of the Freeman era. Does that make sense to you? Like, we're 3 years in, the training wheels are off. He's got a better feel of how he wants to operate things. And now, like, I feel like year 4 is the beginning of something, not the Freeman era, but whatever iteration of it we're going to get next. Like, winning window. Like, I just get like winning window comes to me of like, the calibration part of this, learning what you want to do or not, and tweaking all that. Like, that's what those first 3 years are for. Now I feel like you're getting into winning time here.
Yeah, I do think that this is not the beginning of the Freeman era, but it does feel like the beginning of the dominance where we will be in the national championship conversation every year for, I think as long as Marcus Freeman's the head coach and we keep the coaching staff relatively intact, but I think that the future looks really good for the program and got a lot of momentum. Another draft comment, I think that it's pretty cool. Dylan McCullough got Ashton Genty for his new gig at the Raiders. That's good for Dylan.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I didn't even piece that all together. You know what else I think I honestly forgot about? Tell me if I'm wrong with this or not. Is Tommy Rees with the Browns as the quarterback coach. Am I wrong of that?
Browns offense coordinator.
Okay, so there you go. Now he's got 2 quarterbacks in off the draft to deal with, and we'll see how Reese works with Sanders there in that room. I think that will be an interesting dynamic to follow as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a Shador hater or really a huge fan, but there was a certain point where I did start to kind of feel a little bit bad for the guy. I don't think that he, would ever let anybody know that, but it did seem it got to be a little sad. And then when the Browns picked him, it felt kind of like
that's sad. Yeah, it's like, hey man, tough.
Yeah.
It was a really, really tough lesson in humility. I just think if your shtick, if what you're known for is being like that swagalicious all the time, if something goes wrong or you fail, people are going to pounce. That's just that's what happens when you put yourself out there like that. If you don't back it up if you don't back that up all the time in every way, people are going to pounce. And that's what happened. So I think it was a lesson in humility. Maybe he'll be better for it, but it was a tough, embarrassing lesson to learn all weekend.
For sure. Yeah. And I hate to see him kind of like, I feel like his fall is now being like, it's being politicized a little bit. And I hate to see that, like anybody get involved in something where it's like, a right versus left type of situation or, I don't know. It just seems like it's being blown out of proportion of terms of football.
That's the issue. When you have something like this and it started to go this way on the draft, Twitter was a nightmare because a lot of people are saying when you're that braggy and then you don't take the interview serious or whatever, this is what happens. Other people are saying clearly this is race related and they don't want to pick the black guy. And then it turns into this toxic debate about what's right or wrong for what reasons and all that stuff. It turned toxic. You're right about that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think that, I think that as a society, it'd be great to try to move past some of that stuff. And I think I saw it like I guess it was an interesting point, but even the point itself was a little, I guess loaded. Was Scadaboo had about 7 running backs drafted before him, and he finished 5th in the Heisman and was like, I guess top 5 running back, top 3 running back, and he didn't go until later. But I don't know. I mean, I think these teams kind of know what they're looking for, and they know what kind of like personalities they want in their locker room. And another thing that I heard was there's a lot of maybe GMs or head coaches that were hesitant about having Shador come in thoughts that maybe Deion's coming with him or is a year behind him, and they don't want to maybe lose their job for, Deion taking a head coaching job in the NFL.
Yeah. And the other thing is with the race issue, it's kind of a bad argument because isn't like 85% of the NFL black guys and like one went number one, like they get drafted all the time. So like, that's kind of tough, but I just think this is a really unique situation with that family and everybody knows the dad. It's such a unique, it's a one-off situation. I think it really is like a one-off because there's so many ancillary things tied to it that are unique to this family and this dynamic. Like, so I don't know, but that's the way it goes.
You got people on both sides making 15-minute YouTube videos about, the reasons why Sturt didn't get drafted. And it's like, these people have never watched, a college football game last season. So it's like, you have a lot of opinions coming in that are very misinformed and just purely based on opinions and emotions. But I think the draft went pretty well. I'm happy that a lot of guys got drafted. I'm surprised. I was a little surprised that Jack Kaiser went mid fourth round.
Yep.
I kind of thought that. I'm happy he went. I thought he was going to go a tad bit later, but
yeah,
I guess that's what you get when you're Notre Dame career games leader.
Yeah, good for these guys, man. They all got an opportunity now, and I wish them all well. I hope they make a bunch of money, get their contracts, play well, and make generational wealth for their family, man. Represent Notre Dame the right way. Anything else, man? Thanks for the call on a Monday.
Nah, not much, man. I'm just found out I'm going to the Steve Angeli game this year, so be excited about that one.
Hey, if that lines up, Notre Dame against Steve Angeli on senior day at Notre Dame Stadium, there's your narrative and there's your
great.
story. Now, what you hope for is you got to hope Notre Dame's got to be in the middle of the playoff hunt for that game to really build this up. And then we'll see where this all stands. But if Notre Dame's especially if Notre Dame's in playoff position and he comes to town to play us, that's going to be a big one. I'm looking forward to that. I hope it sets up like that.
Yep, I'm going to start shopping for a winter jacket. So
there you go. There you go, man. Hey, thanks a lot for giving me a call on Monday. And again, crystal clear phone line. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, I don't know what's going on. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good one. That guy's like... That guy's like, I don't know what you're giving me credit for a non-loud phone line, but I'll take it. Whatever, man. I'll take the credit. Oh, man. John on steroids is really going to up the show. Can you guys imagine? Can you imagine me on roid rage during a football season? Can you just imagine what would happen if I ended up like seriously like the Ultimate Warrior where I'm just shot out of a cannon losing my mind? The funniest part of all that stuff with the Ultimate Warrior is every single other wrestler hated working with him because he had no wrestling talent. Literally talk to anybody that was around during that time and they will tell you that guy was dangerous. No one wanted to work with him. He had no touch of how to act at all in a ring, like how you're supposed to protect your opponent. He didn't know nothing. He just roided up, ran out there and yelled and shook the rope and then just like hurt the guys he was working with and moved to the next city. I respect the great workers, like a guy like Shawn Michaels, even though he was pilled up and a prick. I appreciate like how athletic a guy like Shawn Michaels is doing all that stuff he did. That's a real athlete, people. 559 up on the line. What up, baby?
How's it going, John? Can you hear me pretty good?
It's okay. It's not the best I've heard, but it doesn't sound like you're drowning in a well.
So, first I'd like to say, like, my Raiders did what Raiders do, stupid things. We had an opportunity to get Benjamin Moore. We had an opportunity to get Xavier Watt, and they just do what they do. And sometimes it's disappointing to see what kind of draft they did. But other than that, I'm really excited to see Notre Dame players get drafted, and some of them live up to their dreams. It was refreshing to see that Riley Leonard is going to the Indianapolis Colts. I wish him nothing but the best. He has a class act. He's one of those guys that's going to pave the way of future quarterback, Notre Dame quarterback heading to the NFL. And next year is not going to be the cream of the crop. But I think after that, you're going to start seeing that Notre Dame list just go down in every first round, first, second, third pick of the draft. Is going to be a Notre Dame player heading to the NFL because Marcus Freeman is bringing that type of talent to South Bend.
Yeah, I definitely think, man, this Notre Dame's going to be heavily represented in these drafts moving forward on the high end. I'm a full believer in that. And the other thing it's been on my mind all weekend watching this draft is Notre Dame staff's done a really, really good job of getting the most out of these players they had as possible. They've done a really good job. Their evaluations and development have been pretty darn good. The Freeman era has done a good job there.
Yeah, I mean, like compared to what was it when Marcus Freeman was in the draft with with Hamilton? Like, I just believe that we're getting there. I mean, there's still work to be done, and it all depends on this coming up season. But I wanted you to remind me something. Didn't I tell you that Buckner was going to be a backup quarterback?
Yeah,
didn't I mention that to you?
Yeah, you did.
I'm my mom, I'm my boy. Man, I'm telling you, great minds think alike. And I'm telling you right now, if CJ Carr is going to outshine. It's going to be between. Mitch is going to be the backup. TJ Carter, quarterback. Let's ride with him, and let's ride with Jeremiah Love, and get this Heisman back in South Bend. That's what we're shooting for. We're natty from here on out. So everybody in South Bend, get ready, enjoy this ride. And you know what? We'll worry about the rest. And these recruits that are coming, Chad Bowden, you need to know your lane, my boy. You need to stay in your lane because you're in California now. And if you don't know how staying in your lane is going to be, you're about to find out. And you F around and you will find out at Kelly. Because Notre Dame is everywhere. South Bend, Notre Dame, no matter where you at, anytime, any place you will see a Notre Dame fan in your face and rubbing in your damn face. So Chad Bowden, stay in your lane, partner. I'm letting you know right now, you need to get smacked around. So don't forget the hand that fed you and gave you that opportunity. It's not wiggling your nose like a player.
Dude, I love this. First, what a healthy way to start out a Monday morning. Us yelling about Chad showing off in L.A.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, this guy is putting his mouth, and all of a sudden he acts like he's the recruiting mecca. You ain't shit, all right? You were in South Bend, and you had an easy sell because you had Marcus Freeman as your coach, all right? And let's see how many you really sign at the end of the day. Because remember, recruiting doesn't end until they sign. So National Day is in December. Not right now, not in July, and not over the summer. It's on December something when we sign on the dotted line, and we're really going to see who was recruiting everything. Other than that, Chapo, I can't wait. Because, boy, I'm going to be talking so much shit to you from here on out.
Dude, I love you, man. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you too, dog. Have a good day. I got to get back to work.
All right. Dude, do you know how much it means to me? I've said this before. I'll say it again. Do you know how much it means to me when people that are working think to call? Like, I don't think it would be in my mind if I had like a full-time office job or I was out doing labor or something that I would need to take time out of my actual workday to call the football show. I really appreciate it. All right. I'm backed up on chats. I need to get back to these. I need to get back to these. Also, Burks defeated the crazy Ohio State fan and he ended his career. Caden deleted his channel. That's the word on the street, you guys. Caden the man deleted his YouTube channel. He wanted to make it his dream, and it lasted like 2 weeks. I'm just telling you guys this. The last communication I had with Caden the man, he emailed me 30 invitations for one of his live streams on StreamYard, and I get 30 in one day. 1 minute after the next, I get these emails. It's all the same link to the same live stream. And he's like, you are summoned to be here at Caden's court or whatever. And I ignored all 30 of them. And the next thing you know, poof, the guy's gone from the internet. I'm not taking responsibility for it. Freeman's full recruiting classes are not NFL draft eligible. Can you do the math? It's 3 years only, $5 hour. Yeah, we've talked about that. Wait, it's not like we've missed that point. One of the big arguments is, yeah, the RKGs that are left over are filtering through and they're not high draft picks. Once this rolls over to the Freeman era, you're going to be in a different spot in the draft. I think that's fair. Commander, Disney's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. John will be screaming and pissed off if he sees an LSU shirt on somebody. Those people probably have a restraining order against me from that. It was the first summer after the first year Kelly was at LSU, and we're at Disney Springs. Who knows? It all blends in my mind of misery. And we're eating and drinking at some place by the water, and there's a whole family dressed head to toe in LSU. Grandma, grandpa, the grandkids, everybody had LSU stuff on. I walk by and very nicely ask what they think of Kelly, like whatever. And you would think they acted like I was an axe murderer or something, but for just walking by and saying the look of horror in their faces that someone dared to walk up to them with a smile and say, how do you like your new coach at a bar? They looked at me like I was some zoo animal freak. I don't understand. They're the problem. Whatever. Prime. Thanks for bringing back always annoyed. Well, there's always something to be annoyed about. Freeman players will get drafted higher as the years go on. Absolutely. Hopefully you run into more LSU fans at Disney. I hope that same family comes back again and they remember me and they call the authorities. Mark 1, $2 hour. You're doing good too, John. I don't know what that's in reference to. Is that in reference to me roiding up? Woo! BVG should be the coach. John roid raging during this season would be a phenomenal, epic way to lose the show due to John violating all of the guidelines. I am going to remain calm. That is one of my strong suits, is in the midst of a lot of emotional turmoil, I'm always able to remain calm. That is why you guys like this show, because I have a track record of thinking my way calmly through a lot of different things that make me upset in the football and American landscape. That's one of my strengths. Calm. Who are we crapping? $20 hour WPP. Yeah, you know me. WPP. Yeah, you know me. Riley Leonard is from Duke. Notre Dame cannot claim him as he was on campus less than 12 months. 20 years ago, Dave Chappelle had the racial draft. Colleges should do the same. Duke claims Leonard, Wake claims Hartman. The funniest part about all that is the Dave Chappelle skit. And the Tiger Woods thing is still just absolutely hilarious to me. The Tiger Woods impression. He gets up there and what did he say? I always wanted to say this for shizzle. You know what I'm talking about. Like Snoop used to say for shizzle, and he's up there as Tiger and he gets drafted to the black team. And he goes, I always wanted to say this for shizzle. The dong. John on roids would just make the show a Macho Man Randy Savage promo for Notre Dame. I think I need to go for it now, you guys. Like a little pre-workout isn't good enough. Now I need actual roids. The Dodger, John on roids, he might try and destroy his own green room. Pilney, $10 hour. The Go Blue ND Sport means ND has an Ohio problem. Michigan and Notre Dame are united in hatred now. OSU has eclipsed USC as Notre Dame's most hated enemy right now due to the 0-7 record since Notre Dame's last victory in 36. There are certain people that this really bothers. There are certain people where the only thing they text me is, we have an Ohio State problem. Like, and you know what else? There's a lot of Notre Dame fans in Ohio, and I think that's part of it. Like in that area, there is genuinely a lot of Notre Dame, a Notre Dame footprint there. But there are a lot of people that will just text me sometimes, we got an Ohio State problem. Just want you to know. Like, you got to get over that hump. 23 was it. You had that game won and you handed it to them. And so we'll see if it all comes back around and we end up ahead in the long run or getting over the hump or whatever. But that was the big one. You had a big chance there. We did talk about Leonard getting drafted. And I said I actually like the spot. I think it's a low-pressure start to his career. 6th round, nobody's expecting you to be a hero. And if he develops, we'll see, man. With that big body and that skill set, we'll see what happens. I'm not counting him out at all. $10 holler, Pilney. My enemy's enemy is now my friend. United in hatred. Welcome aboard the UM community. Poor Caden, man. Poor Caden. I didn't want the kid to delete his videos, but I wanted him to learn the process. He was trying to hijack the process and skip like 20 steps and into having a YouTube brand people know. And I needed him to know you just don't do that. You just don't do that. You don't. Oh, God. You guys are funny. Okay. Who else? Let's look at this. Thanks for the donations, by the way. Morrison, second round, Tampa Bay. Watts, third, Atlanta. Kaiser, fourth, Jags. Mills, fifth, Seattle. Evans, Carolina, fifth. Leonard, sixth. And then also, signees. Look at this. I can't believe you guys watch me, even when you're on vacation doing stuff. Don't you want a break from me? David West, $5 holler. Enjoying the show, and I'm in Europe, a European vacation. Don't get caught in one of them turnabouts. Isn't that the European vacation where Chevy Chase, he can't get out of the circle drive thing? They got those in South Bend too, and you just get caught in the circle, the turnabout or whatever, and you just keep going around because you can't exit anywhere. The other thing, signees or invitees, right? So these are guys that didn't get their name called in the draft, but then they're invited to work out or get a lower level contract, whatever it is. Cross, Clark, Collins, Jeter, Oben. Maybe there's some more guys that could get on that list as we go along. But good luck to all those guys, man. That's the dream. I hope they all make a ton of money and go live your career and do all this and whatever. You guys are funny. You guys are funny, man. Oh, boy. Man, we got some new people here today. Where did you people come from? Where did you come from? How did you find me? Really interesting. So here's what I think we got coming up. Recruiting, I'm expecting get a little pop. I'm expecting to get a little pop soon. Couple guys here. Fill out that class. Get it going. $2 hour. What tailgates you thinking about? I think it's going to have to be Purdue, man. The early one, it's going to have to be Purdue. And I know that doesn't work for everyone. It's tough for Pat, but it works for a lot of people. So we're just going to have to do Purdue, and then whoever can make it can make it. But that's what I'm thinking it's going to be. College Huddle, $5 hour. OSU has Jaden. Michigan has Blue Monkey. ND, it has to be the Dallas fan. I know he's had some dust-ups with other channels. That's for sure. I don't know where the monkey went. I really didn't block him. So I don't know. Jake. I listened to that EJ guy from Michigan on an On3 pod over the weekend for the first time. Man, he's horrible. Then the comment section concreted how bad he is at his job. Even Michigan fans don't like him. There is no one that has a full-time, like, brand name beat job that is more disingenuous than that guy. He lies for a living. He lies to pay his bills, and for some reason, On3's okay with it. I will never understand it. Oh, he gets a lot of clicks or whatever. Yeah, I understand that. But for the wrong reasons. Like lying and just it's rough. It's rough. Am I going to have the Purdue drum? Bro, I'm going to deflate that drum like your ex-girlfriend does to your front right tire. Stupid drum. Get a drum that could fit. $2 holler from Mark. Anyways, I don't respect that guy. I think he's dangerous. It's bad. It's a bad look for Michigan too. When you have like recruits' dads on Twitter dragging the guys that cover recruiting for your school, that's a very bad look too. And so, yeah, just bad guy, no morals, just lies for a living. It's really, really hilarious. And what you're hoping is, I hope the next thing that falls is that Notre Dame lands the running back that it's between us and Michigan for. So then he could say the guy's a total weirdo for picking Notre Dame and he'll spin it. We we pulled off of him. We didn't want him that much anyways. You know, we weren't recruiting him that hard. We weren't that interested. Like, whatever he's going to say, whatever lie it'll be, I can't wait to see what it's going to be. Yeah, it's not a lie if you believe it. I mean, that's sociopathic. You know, when you start spinning lies and you can convince yourself there's a shred of truth in it to be able to get through the day and unjustly collect a check from clickbait where none of it's true. Like, that's sociopathic. It's truly alarming behavior. But for some reason, On3's fine with it. I don't understand how you could be. The guy lies for a living. Rubs me the wrong way. I don't approve. I don't approve at all. I just don't. All right, guys, I got to get going 10:30 here. That gives me 15 minutes to get set up and get going. Sorry for the shorter show. That it was fun while we did it. Everybody jumping in. We're going to go live at 7 tonight on Patreon, and we're going to break down all of the draft stuff and where Notre Dame's at with all this. Go over the recruiting as well. I appreciate you guys. I know. Everybody's disappointed. We got to end a little early today. I was stretching it to even get this hour and a half. Eric, congratulations, man. You've been busting your ass at the huddle, and all your stuff's growing, and you deserve it. You're a good dude. You've been working hard on this, and a lot of times that's where people fall short. I want to do this, or I want to have a following, but you don't put in the work. Eric, good for you, man. You've been busting your ass. I'll see you guys all tonight at 7 o'clock on the Monday Night Raw. Have a good one.